Huddle podcast with Pastor Short T.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that.
Yo, what up, family? We're back at you again with Break the Huddle podcast with your guy, your uncle, Pastor Short T. And remember, this is the podcast for the Christian student athlete to be encouraged and empowered through testimony. And most of all, remember, we're unashamed, we're breaking chains, and we doing that thing in Jesus' name. So we about to go on and get into it, but I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Full Force Heating and Cooling. And you can reach them 205-577-1156 and mention BGTV Studios or Pastor Short T, and you will get 10% off of your service. Now let's go on and get into it, how we get down with the quote of the week. Practice is preparation for performance. Let me say that one more time. Practice is preparation for performance. Now we're going to get into our scripture of the week. Very familiar, Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. And that leads us into our subject this week, players pursuing purpose. I'm excited about this right here. Players pursuing purpose. Now let me break down about my next guest. She is a Miles College graduate where she played softball. And she's a minor high school alum right here in Birmingham, Alabama area, where she is a coach with the softball program. So I need y'all to show some love to another one of my nieces coming through. Give it up for Coach Nyia Westbrook. Man, welcome to the podcast there, girl. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Man, I'm so happy to have you here, and then hear about the great things you're doing. We're going to get into all that. But before anybody dog me out, family-wise, I want you to go on and give you shout-outs. Make sure you don't miss nobody. I don't know mama's name, so you need to say mama's name. Need to say daddy's name, brother, sister name, so because we don't know who they are.
Okay. All right. So first I'm going to shout out my parents, Walter and Demetrius Westbrook. I want to shout out my sisters and brothers, Araya, Dania, Derek, and also my nephew, Colton. And I cannot forget my big brother who is not with us anymore, but his name is Carlos.
Okay.
So I also want to give a big shout out to my TPC family and also my girls.
Yeah. Man, you own it, Coach. You own it, Coach. All right. Now, we getting ready to get into this thing called rapid fire. Just like 2-minute drill or hurry up offense. We getting ready to get into this thing. Are you ready to roll with that?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, let's do this then. All right, favorite fast food?
I'm going to go with Whataburger.
Oh, and they took the way away. They took the one we had over here away from us. So you're messing me up with that. Okay, favorite female athlete, past or present?
I'm going to go with Alyssa Brown.
Oh, come on, talk to me about that. Why her?
Alyssa Brown was one of the first African-American girls that I seen play for Alabama.
Okay.
And she was also the most similar to me. She could slap. She was fast. She played outfield. She was good.
Okay, awesome, man. So I like it when you elaborate on that. A coach you would like to sit down with and have a conversation?
Ooh. I would say it would be between Patty and Don.
I don't have to go there, but go on and drop it on me. Just drop that on me.
Okay, so if you want to talk about Patty, coaching for Oklahoma, I watched one of her interviews, and she spoke about how she lost her dad that year, but not only was she there for the team, but that team was made for her to help her go through that. And they use not just their connection, but their connection with God to build on that season and get that championship. And at the end of that, they walked away saying, "We did this for your dad, Coach." And that's one thing that drew me towards her, not just how well she could coach, but getting those girls spiritually driven And of course, Coach Staley. I watched her on a show on Netflix where she elaborated on her background, like where she came from. But the thing that draws me the most to her, I feel like our stories are a little bit the same.
Okay.
What stuck out to me is she said that she went to a school that wasn't known for basketball. It was a football school when she got there. There was no support behind women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And she changed the whole ball game. She brought in the fans. She brought in the support.
Yeah.
She built that program from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I want to do at Minor. We're not softball based.
Yes.
Most of the money is kind of going into other sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's not big in Adamsville, but I want to change that, and I want better for the girls at Minor.
We on a roll. My last question is this. Besides Jesus in the Bible, someone who inspires you to be the best you can be.
That would be between Noah and Mary. Mary was chosen. She was given an assignment that she had no other choice to take on. And she handled that thing. She carried it out. I'm pretty sure with how it happened, there were a lot of naysayers and, negativity, but she carried out what God assigned to her. Mm-hmm. And most likely with grace for him to have been born. But also Noah, because he is a representation of obedience, even when you don't know what it looks like. When you don't know what's next, he just follows God and does what he asked him to do, and he came out on the other side.
Yeah, we off to a rolling start right here. I tell you that now. We rolling. Okay, we're going to go on and get into your story. Minor high school. Let's talk about, first of all, you being an athlete coming up. Did you try everything? Did you try cheerleading, gymnastics, soccer, and then you just figured out, I'm going to do this softball, volleyball. Tell me, how did you get to that point that you knew softball was it?
Funny story.
Here we go.
So when I was little, I was the first girl. So of course I was the ballerinas and princesses. I was into Corky Bell. I did dance, tap, all of that. I was not a sports girly. But my dad, he coached an adult softball team, which my mom was on, and they would always have practice, and I would be there. Well, one day, I decided to pick up a glove, and they told me to go stand in the outfield. They didn't expect me to catch anything.
Oh, yeah.
But I was out there, and one of my aunts played on the team, and she hit a ball, and it was on the ground, and I was just like, I'm going to catch this. And my mom's like, move, move, move. And I'm like, no, you told me if anything comes over here to catch it. Mm-hmm. So I caught it. And my dad seen that, and he was like, I got to put her in sports. So he decided to put me in and try it out. And they will tell you this story all the time. But my first year playing, I would, after the game, after I slide, clean off my glove, clean off my cleats. I didn't want anything dirty, but I would go out there and I would play. And that's where the love of the game started.
For those who might be listening by podcast via another way, he's back there in the corner, and I just looked back there and he threw his hands up. So she's telling the truth. Oh, yeah. So you were a cleanliness person.
Yes, very, very prissy. But it didn't stop there. Once I got older, my dad, he's a coach of many things. Mm-hmm. He coached football, basketball, he coached it all. Well, I seen one of my friends playing basketball, and I wanted to try it. It wasn't my sport. I don't like contact. Oh, so he practiced me, and I was willing to learn and be coached, but I did not want to play. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to learn. And then I think later on when I got to middle school, I have a sister from another mister, just a sister that I grew up with, so we call each other sisters. She played travel volleyball, and volleyball is really big where she lives. That's Jasper. That's where I'm originally from. Yeah. She played club, and when I seen her play and I would go stay with her, we would pass together. So I decided, let me try it out where I was at, which was minor middle. And I ended up being really, really good at it. And I loved it just as much as softball. I just chose what I was more experienced with to go to college in. So I played that. I ended up playing for the high school and middle school. So I was pretty good at it. I was a libero.
Okay. So you set the standard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and that's what I'm talking about. You set the standard. Okay. So did you do volleyball and softball in high school?
I did. I actually did that at the same time, and it was a lot because at the time I was playing travel softball and school volleyball, and that was at the same time. But I loved volleyball, but softball is just it has always been a part of me, on top of being my family sport. Like, that's our family game. So I think when it came down to making a choice, it was pretty easy.
Gotcha. Okay, let's talk about recruiting. How did that go for you? Because, like you said, the school you were at is not the softball mecca,
right?
Baseball mecca, anything like that. So how did the recruiting go for you?
So the recruiting process actually was 10 times harder for me because it was in the middle of COVID season. So my season, when COVID hit, that season was cut short. We only played a tournament and probably 2 tournaments before COVID shut everything down. And then my senior year, I only went through about half of my season due to games being canceled because people had COVID. So I didn't get as much film or games in those 2 years. But, God works in funny ways.
Come on.
The field that I played on, that I was seen by Miles at, it was a Pleasant Grove field. We played Pleasant Grove there, and my coach, she went to Pleasant Grove. And so she ended up reaching out to the Miles coach or having a conversation with him because they practiced there, and one day I guess they decided to stick around and watch the game. And they had seen me in that game, and that's where I was recruited.
Wow. The COVID season was crazy.
It was.
Because I remember in high school, games getting canceled and everything. I was like, how's this going to work now?
Yeah.
So I saw that side of it. So you end up in Miles. Let's go through freshman year. Did you get any playing time?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you about
that. She almost went off on me then. Like, what you think? I saw that in you. So
okay. So I'm gonna say my freshman year, right off of the bat, we kind of went in asking that question to Coach Patrick Pazant. Do you play seniority ball, or is this a program where the girls will earn their spot? And so he had already established, no, this isn't a seniority team if I'm going to play who works their butt off.
Okay.
And who I can trust to put on the field. My freshman year, I will never forget, I was supposed to have other teammates that came with me from minor, but some things happened and it was only me who went to Miles. And so I was the only one without somebody there that I knew. So I had to work 10 times harder, but I ended up finding a group of girls on the team that, was willing to befriend me, being that we were all new to each other. And we went out and we worked hard. Coach Pizant, he's tough, but we worked a lot of nights to get one of those starting positions. And I remember coming to Miles, I was versatile. I played infield and outfield, and he needed outfielders. And the one day that he put me out there, he said, I want you to stay out there. And he would say, he had a meeting with us, and he said, if I were to start today, this is who I would put in the game, and this is why. And he looked at me, he said, I would start you, but here's the thing. I need you to work better on offense, and I need you to keep your throws down. So I said, okay. I went out, threw everything into the net until I could get everything down. Hitting, I would go bunt, work on my hitting on my right side because he was trying to move me to the left also. Worked on that, and I ended up my freshman year being started in center field.
Love it. I love it. So you ain't got to come over here and jump on me or anything. So that going out to the outfield catching pop flies with your folk, that worked out pretty good for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, did good your freshman year? Did pretty good. All right, you play your second year, sophomore year. Okay, now let's talk about your third year.
So my third year, my second year kind of played a role in my third year. My second year is when I became more of a leader role on the team. I started to step out a little bit more with our original seniors leaving. We had about 4 that left. And throughout that year, I think that was my peak season. I had gotten my first SIAC award for the most steals. I earned first team, and yeah, I earned those 2 awards at the SIAC. I played my butt off. I had a few injuries. I had a knee injury, and I injured my rib. I fractured it, and so the next year coming up, I knew I had to work 10 times harder because I was a little more broken than I was before. So I had to kind of work on rebuilding in those areas where I had been injured, but also try to keep up with the player that I was last year to become better. So going in that year, Coach Pazant decided to choose me to be a captain on the team. And I took that role very, very serious because I wanted to change the atmosphere. When I came, it was more so a second chance school, and it was more disciplinary. So when I came, there was a lot of rules, there was a lot of discipline, and I wanted to make sure coming in they had a captain that was more so there for them, like, I'm your big sister. You don't have to be afraid of me. This is not a boot camp. This is a sisterhood, and I'm here for you, especially because of the fact that I think that played a lot on people's mental, the sport, the game, and how much time we spent together. So coming into that year, I was really excited, and even my dad told me, he was like, I see you're obsessing, like, I see your expectations, but make sure when you go in, you're prepared for anything else to not go your way. So I listened to him, but I didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the way they do.
So I went in. I had a big sister, little sister program. And also another fun fact, my sister was coming in as a freshman that year as well.
Wow.
She decided to follow me. I told her not to, but she decided to follow me.
No, she ain't even say that. She's sitting over there in the cut. She's sitting over there in the cut like I'm just here.
Yeah, she decided to follow me, and so I was a captain that year along with somebody that I grew up with from Jasper who was at Miles as well. And so it didn't go as I expected. That year we had a good bit of freshmen come in and JUCO kids. But the culture that we wanted to create, everybody did not buy into. And my coach was a little upset because he said in the group that we have, the culture that we have, the community, a lot of times instead of us coming together for the greater good, we tried to basically figure out how we could do it better instead of helping out. And that's kind of what happened to me as a leader. I tried my best to make sure that the girls had everything that I didn't. And I think it backfired because I was more so trying to make sure that they could come to me and they would like me as opposed to embracing the hate, because as a leader, you have to be the one to tell them what they don't want to hear. And with that, they're not going to always want to come to you because they know that you're going to tell them right from wrong.
Yeah.
So that year I ended up cutting my season short, not just because of that, but also because my education. I found myself fighting between choosing my degree and my sport.
Wow.
And I don't think a lot of people talk about that in sports.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because what I continue to see, I saw it, I want to say my son's redshirt freshman year, where we lost during the fall. We lost probably about 7, 8 players off the team because they came to JUCO thinking, "Oh, I'll just show up and play baseball," and didn't study. So,
Yeah.
so they didn't take it seriously until they couldn't play. So let's talk about what you saw from your perspective.
So from my perspective, I'm really big on education. I have never had a C, or I really hated getting B's. My parents would have to tell me like that's okay. But coming into college, we had 3 practices a day. That was at 5 a.m. workouts, 11 a.m. and then we had a 4 or 5 o'clock practice during the afternoon. And so trying to balance that also with being a leader, making sure everything was taken care of. And I'm going to have to put this out there.
Put it out,
my
please.
coach at the time, he did not respect the fact that I was a student first. And there came a time where if I said, "Hey, coach, I need to study for this," instead of coming to workouts today, he would not like that. I would bring my work and say, "I have a big exam today." He didn't like that. Or if I had something to do academic-wise, he didn't like that. So I came to him one day and I voiced my opinion. I'm like, "Coach, I think we need to do more study halls or something because it's getting a little rocky for me. I'm coming and I'm not really loving it anymore because I'm having to battle between what I'm actually here for and what I'm wanting to be here for." And so we had a talk, and I don't think he really heard anything. So I think I had to make the decision on my own. And I just finally said, are you going to choose what you're leaving here with, or are you going to choose what you're presently here with? And that's a different story in its own, because I didn't want to give that up. But I had to trust God to say, "Trust me, get this, focus on this right here, and let me do the rest." And once I finally, literally, when I would go to practice, I would be feeling something saying, "When are you going to talk to your coach? When are you going to talk to your coach? When are you going to talk to your coach?" Every day I came, I was heavy. And the one day I just decided, okay, I'm going to listen to you. And from that day on, when I gave God my yes and gave that up, so much just fell into place. The coaching, the playing outside with my dad's adult ball team, my degree. I have impacted so many more lives in a environment that celebrated me instead of tolerated me for what I had to offer and the light that I was trying to bring.
That's where we come back to the subject, players pursuing purpose. So you ended up walking away from being a player to really going after your purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And now you see the results. You're seeing the results of it. And through seeing the results, you're at Minor High School with and I know the ultimate goal for the average person is want to be head coach. But John Maxwell says this. He has a book called 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And I read that book every year just to refresh my memory. And he has this one law is the law of buy-in. Most people, you start figuring this out. When you create a culture, you start weeding out who don't buy in. And that's what you can do with a team. You can say, okay, they don't fit what I do. That's the reason we see, well, why didn't they stay on this team? They cut them loose. They say, you don't fit what we want to accomplish. Right. And you saw it, but to walk away from it and saying, nah, God got a purpose for me and this ain't it. That's major what you did. So now you're giving back, of course, but you're also doing lessons and all that. Nick, could you put the graphics up there, because I want to promote what she's doing, giving back to the community, and also so you're doing sessions and everything. And for those that are watching by YouTube, you can hit the QR code and you can scan it. But if they want to get with you, how can they get with you?
I do have a Facebook page where I post any updates on my lessons, group lessons and all, and that's just my first and last name, Nyia Westbrook.
Yes.
Also, I think I have my email up there. It may not be. It may
But
not be on that one.
you could put it out there, and then we'll tag it in there
Okay.
as well. So you could say it for the people that are listening. Just go on and say it out loud. If just say it off the top of your head, go ahead. You can put it out there.
Okay, Nyia Westbrook 1015 at gmail.com.
Spell Nyia.
NYIA.
Okay. Hey, we good. So please hit her up. If you need lessons, you're in the Birmingham area, please get with her because she's out to make people better. All right, we're gonna get into this thing. I want to go a little bit further. You sent me something and you let me know this that your grandmama, hey, we got to put it out there like that. She saw it in you, the anointing that's on your life. So, and you said it's been since an early age. So that call that's on your life, this ain't just a happenstance. It's just been there all your life. What do you realize, or where did you see just God just do something that you like? I know that had to be God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To me, that's so hard for me to pinpoint exactly when, because I have always been the type of person to see even the small things, the small ways that God shows up, giving us the breath of life every day. Coming from a big family, having a roof over your head and enough for all of those people in the house.
Yeah.
So it's those little things, but the big things where I see God come in, I want to say the biggest, the first time that I ever experienced God was to see my family change, my family grow, my family heal. My parents, they don't come from a silver spoon. They don't come from having it all. They don't come from having all the answers. But I seen them grow through their spiritual. I seen their spiritual growth coming from. I'm seeing you and I'm hearing you, God, but I don't know quite what I'm doing yet. I'm not all the way there.
Yeah.
To praying every day, and I'm really into God. I'm really in tune with God. Like, I can teach this to my children.
Okay.
So as they were teaching me, they were teaching themselves, and I found so much strength in that. Not only that, my family is a big family. And if anybody knows to have a lot in one home and having parents that didn't go to college, they don't have high-paying jobs, make the ends meet, and not just make them meet, but also do it in a way to where you don't feel it. That was big to me. And the biggest thing that we overcame as a family was my brother's death. My older brother, he was like a light to us. And to see them overcome that, my family took that and said, I'm going to cherish the people that I have, because I know what it feels like to lose somebody that's close. And instead of us letting that, most families break apart when they lose somebody that's the glue. Instead, that pulled us together. We're like best friends. Anybody that's around us can tell you, those people are funny. I want to be with them all the time. It's never a dull moment. That was just so big to me. And my mom, that was her everything. That was her first baby. That was her first child. And she wasn't supposed to have the rest of us, but she's been going through that, and I know it's hard for her every day, but she learned to love us even though we're not him.
Got you.
And move past that for us. And I think that's just been so beautiful. And my pastor, she made a video once after he had died for an assignment she had, and she called it, what was it? Triumph After Trials. I think it was something like that. Yeah. Triumph After the Trials.
Wow. First of all, I want to give a shout out to your dad. Walt, thanks for staying with them and being the rock in the house. Secondly, I'll say something to your mom. To go through that and at the same time see the miracle of you guys, that's amazing in itself. You guys let me just speak this publicly. You guys have a story that isn't being written yet. And this has blessed me tremendously of what God is doing with you guys. And it's the beginning stages of it. Wow. So you're messing me up here. You're messing me up. Before we get out of here, do me a favor and just speak to somebody, some player that's at that crossroads like you were in the struggle with being a player and that purpose. Just look in that camera right there and speak to them.
Okay.
You've been doing it, so just say what's on your heart. Just say what's on your heart.
Oh, let the Lord lead me.
Yes.
To those athletes out there that are like me, that are in these situations, everybody's pathway looks different. Everybody's calling looks different. Every way that God desires to use you looks different. It may not look like anybody else's. Tap into God and just let him lead you. Don't be scared to say yes, because once you do, everything will fall into place. And you will be amazed at how much better life gets when you do give him your yes, because God is never going to send you into something and not equip you and back you up when he does tell you to give him your yes. Keep going. Don't worry about what other people have to say. And you're never too young. You're never too young.
Amen to that. Whew. Nick, put the giving tools on the screen. This has been fire tonight. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. BGTVstudios.com. Also at BGTV Studios on Venmo and Cash App, $BGTV Studios. Thank you, Nyia Westbrook, for tuning in. Even though I got you. Deja Wills. I saw my homegirl Lynn for tuning in. She's in Jacksonville, Florida. So we got people from everywhere. So hey, thank you guys for checking out Break the Huddle podcast. That's my niece over there, Nyia Westbrook. Get at her with the lessons and everything. And remember, we are unashamed. We breaking chains in Jesus' name. And we will see y'all next time. We out of here. We love y'all. Peace.